Welcome, guys, to an NFL Week 18 recap. I haven't done a recap, I feel like, in a couple of weeks. Usually not the most popular videos because no one cares about a recap. People want picks for the upcoming week. But I have to do a recap because we had another great week. 3-0 on our sides this week. Took Minnesota a -4.5 at Chicago. Crushed them. Carolina plus 4.5 at New Orleans. They won outright, and took Pittsburgh -1.5 against Cleveland, and they won. That's 6-0 in the last 2 weeks on our sides. I picked a total, and again, I got the total wrong. I picked over 42.5, the Rams and Seahawks. Spoiled a perfect week, but we're 6-1 in all bets the last 2 weeks in the NFL, so we'll take it. That brings the season to a close. It was a very good season. We got off to a very hot start. Then we had about, looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks of just kind of very pedestrian, and then finished the last 2 weeks hot. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think about 10 weeks of very good, 9 to 10 weeks of winning picks, and then like 6 weeks of kind of 500, and we had 2 weeks where we had under a 500 record, but not bad out of 18 weeks, only having 2 sub 500 records. Overall, 46-30 on the season, so that's right at 60%. The last 3 years combined, I believe I'm 141-94, which is exactly 60%. So that's, I think, 255 picks across the spread over the last 3 years at 60%. So it's been a good year. The last 2 weeks, really no sweats. Last week there were no sweats on those 3-0 picks because all teams that I picked won by at least 2 scores. And this week, kind of the same thing. I mean, aside from the Carolina game, that was one I was watching closely because it was 7-7 for the longest period of time there. But I mean, they ended up winning outright. But other than that, Minnesota won handily, Cleveland won handily. Pittsburgh won handily. I wish I took the Rams. I really did like them at plus 5.5. I don't know why I went to the total in that game, but damn. And the Lions were another one I liked, but it was kind of a tough play because a lot of that I thought depended on the Rams and Seahawks game. But congrats to the Lions. They finished off a great season, fought hard all year, winning record. A lot of upside for that football team going forward, especially offensively. They have a lot of young talent. Defensively, hopefully they can tighten it up a bit. But the good thing about that team is they fight. They like their coach. They're gutsy. They're not scared. Their record showed. I mean, they were, I think they started off the year 1-6 or something like that. So they finished the season very strong. But now it's the playoffs, and this is the fun part. Wild card weekend. Last year, it's the same thing this year as last year. I think they play 2 games Saturday, 3 Sunday, and 1 Monday. I kind of like what they did a couple years ago. They played 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, but when they went to the expanded playoffs. But last year they scrapped the Saturday game and put it on a Monday. So there's just two games on Saturday, I think 4:30 and 8:15 or something like that. Some pretty good matchups. I think there's at least 3 divisional matchups for the wild card weekend. I think Saturday we have the Chargers playing. Who are the Chargers playing? Jacksonville. I'm just gonna write these down before I forget. So we have a few short lines and a few pretty big lines. So the Chargers and Jags, I think that one's only about 2 points, 1 point, 2 to 3, something like that, between 1 and 3 point favorites for the Chargers. That should be, I think a good game. There's also Buffalo and Miami. That's a divisional matchup. Buffalo's a pretty big favorite, probably by 10 to 11 points there. The Monday night game I know is Dallas and Tampa. That's a shorter line. I think Dallas -3. What else do we have? We have Cincinnati and Baltimore. Another divisional game. Cincinnati, I think, is about a 6.5 point favorite. We got the Giants and the fraudulent Minnesota Vikings. That one's a short line. Minnesota -3. And then, probably the most lopsided game, Seattle, San Francisco. I think San Fran is something like -10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Those are the 6 games. I think Saturday is the Chargers in Jacksonville. I'm not sure. I forget who plays Saturday night. I know Sunday 1 o'clock is the Miami Buffalo game. Giants in Minnesota, I think, also play on Saturday. Maybe Seattle and San Francisco play on Saturday as well. But otherwise, I mean, we got 3 divisional matchups. I think Miami and Buffalo, that's a lopsided one, obviously. Baltimore and Cincinnati, that's a divisional matchup. Could be close. Lamar Jackson, I think, is expected to be back. So you could see a more tightly contested game than it would be otherwise. Seattle and San Francisco divisional game, that could be an absolute disaster for Seattle. So we have a few big lines here. We got a few short lines. I'm going to go through these picks. Obviously, later in the week, I'll probably put these picks out Saturday night. I know you guys, listen, I'm losing. I don't know if I lost a subscriber or I've been, even for the last little bit. I think I lost a subscriber this week. Who knows what happens, but I'm like, if I'm going perfect on a week and I'm losing a subscriber, damn, that's rough. YouTube's tough, man, especially gambling. But guys, sign up to the Patreon. Get my plays there, and especially even if you don't want to do it now, do it for next season. You'll have a full season of games, and let's win. Let's win together. So. But I'm excited for the wild card weekend. Am I going to be betting all these games? Hell no, I'm not betting all these games. At most, I'll be betting 3 of these games. And I might not even give you my opinion on all these games. I get, messages. Who do you like for this game? Who do you like for this game? They're usually primetime games. I'm not betting every game. If you're betting every game in the NFL, you are going to be at best probably break even. Long term, you'll be break even if you are betting every game in the NFL. So stop betting every game in the NFL. It's tough. Pick games that you like. Stop picking primetime games. Now, the playoffs are going to be standalone games, so it is what it is. But in general, stop playing primetime games unless you legitimately love a side. But otherwise, I mean, it's just find line value. Find line value. Find situations that you like teams in, and then roll with them. But otherwise, I mean, it's hard to bet every single game. That's why pick 6 contests are harder than pick 5, and pick 5 is going to be harder than picking just 3. Be selective, be patient, long term. If you are feeling it, if you're, when you're hot and you're feeling it, you can play more aggressive. If you're struggling, pull back a little bit. Typically, it's the opposite for a lot of bettors, right? When you're hot, people get scared. They're like, oh, I want a lot of money. I want to pull back a little bit and save some of my profits. And then when people are losing, they're like, they want to win it back all at once. They're betting more and they're more aggressive. It should be with the opposite. When you're losing, pull back your bet sizes. When you're winning, up it a little bit and be more aggressive. That's what you should do, because betting is going to be up and down like everything else. You're going to ride those hot streaks. And when you're cold, just kind of grind and, push your way through it. But we had a nice ending to the season. This is the last, I think, all 3 years I've been doing this. The hottest part of my year is at the end. And it's happened again. We went 6-0 in the wild card picks a couple of years ago. I think last year it was 4-2 or 5-1 wild card weekend. So let's keep it rolling, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. I will try to get the videos up earlier in the week. I will try. But keep checking in. Save the best handicapper for last. Tell your friends, subscribe, guys, so we can keep building the channel. It's really good. I doubled my subscriber base this year, and so that's great. Hopefully we can continue doing that. And guys, we will talk later in the week for Wild Card Weekend.